you're not living in the future. You're living in the magic is now. Like, and I think that's a really important aspect because what my brain was going through it of like, I'm always thinking to the future. And so, okay, so I don't want to say I do lower the expectation. I don't go in grumpy, but I go in like, so this is again, not cynical, pragmatist, where I'm just like, all right, listen, it could suck. And then I'm not going to get grumpy because I expected it to suck, or it could be great. And that's great. And that would be beyond my expectations. And I'll be happy. And I'm kind of like in my head, the reason I do that is because I'm avoiding potential future pain if it's not great. But if I kind of apply my personality to like, if you just said like, so how's this working out for you in life? This like pragmatism of avoiding pain. Do you avoid pain? I'm like, "Oh no, I like have anxiety all the time. I'm like always nervous and like trying to da 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 da." So like I'm still experiencing pain. I still get disappointed, so it's like it isn't protecting me at
Right.
all.
Right. Yeah. In the moment, it feels like, and I think it's an addiction. It's
Mm.
like I'm gonna use, say if your go-to, I call it a home emotion, right? Like I'll be vulnerable, and I will tell you on this podcast, one of my big ones, and it used to be way bigger, and it's still continuous work, is like self-worth,
Mhm.
right? Why was it that I did everything that I did? Why was it I, like, the A plus student, went to Berkeley, got a degree in neurology, went to chiropractic school, opened the practice, built $1 million practice, became a, why did I do all of those things? Yes, I can like be like, "Oh, I wanted to help people." And it is true. I like truly want to help you. Why do I want to help people? Oh, because that's where my self-worth
Mhm.
lies.
Yep.
The lack of the self-worth, yes, on the surface, it gave me all of those things that I experienced in life, but it also became my emotional home. Now, you met me, or if you ask my ex-husband even, he would tell you that I have no self-worth problems, right? Like I come
Yep.
across as
If
like,
anybody met me, they're like, "Oh my god, you have confidence issues?" I'd be like, my therapist and I went back and forth probably for like 30 minutes on this conversation where I'm like, "Believe me, I got plenty of self-worth." And she's like, in her very kind therapy way, we got to the end, I was like, "Shit, I don't have self-worth."
yeah, so if that is something that's an addiction, or it's an emotional home, it's just something I'm used to. Now watch this. I'm going to use every situation that happens in my life, if I can, to prove something that my body somatically, neurologically thinks, believes with every cell that is true, which is the unworthiness. So I would look at the dates, or I would look at the way my business is. It didn't matter how the date went. It didn't matter what my business looked like. There was always like this level of dissatisfaction, or like not good enough. Like it just wasn't good enough, right?
And so
So
the like not good enough slash lack of content, like I feel like I resonate with that more, like, it's the self-worthy, like, it's hard, like, I just haven't, like, unlocked that level in my brain to understand truly what, like, someone who doesn't have self-worth, like, because 'cause I'm like, "No, I think I'm worthy." So is it that I don't think I'm worthy of having X, Y, or Z? Like, that's what I
I'm unworthy of magic. Now, I'm not saying that's the case for you, but
Oh,
I
no.
will say, for me to go from, oh, I'm just this sad, like it's so much easier to claim and say, for me, I was
Mhm.
like, I'd be the first person to tell you, before any inner work or any therapy, to tell you that I'm just dissatisfied. Like I want more, and I want more out of life, and like put a positive spin on it, and spiritually,
Mhm.
and be like this, this toxic positivity, and to go from that, and then to say, you know what, this is an unworthy issue. Like that's a big, and the word itself sounds kind of dirty too. Like
Mhm.
I'm saying I'm unworthy, or I have a worth issue. But for me, it happened to be true. It happened to be like the underlying place. Like I would show up. I got on. I got offered this really amazing like investment opportunity. They were basically like, I manifested that thing out of no, well, not out of nowhere, literally in meditation. And these guys, they own a gym, a series of gyms in Orange County. They came to me and they go, "We want to offer you own out of nowhere." Like I worked out with these guys a couple of times, like 10 years ago. They messaged me, they go, "We want to offer you ownership and we want you to just consult us on like literally we'll just give you part of the profit and part of the new company if you help us like bring in wellness aspects and get integrated with everything else." And I would get on these meetings with these guys and I would feel like this low level anxiety. Like, what if this doesn't go well? What if, like, what am I going to say? Like, there were all these other things that were underneath that were on the surface that I was feeling on this business call. I'm not good enough. But when I explored more what the feeling was. Like on the surface, I would tell you, I'm nervous. I'm having a big meeting with these three dudes
Mhm.
built a massive business, or they're about to give me like I don't know, maybe I don't know what I'm doing, right? But if I go deeper and if I sit with those emotions a little bit longer, I got to, okay, I don't feel I'm worthy of this opportunity,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
that's a big shift. Like that's a big claim too. But when you do claim it, the beautiful thing about if it happens to resonate with anybody who's listening, right? And I don't push on, or this is just my journey. But if you pick what your emotional home is and you figure out what it is, not just on the surface, but a couple layers deeper, then you can recognize it in every place it shows up. I started recognizing it in the way I was as a mom. I started recognizing it in the way I was as a coach, as a business person, as an investor, like in every single, as a wife at the time. I started to recognize all of it in every area of my life on the daily basis, in sending an email, on a Zoom call.
Mhm.
Once I had awareness around it, then I go, oh, if this is my emotional home, this is where my addiction is. And everything that's happening, I'm either using it to validate or I'm attracting more of it into my life.
Well, you're
Well,
using
I'm
it to validate either narrative. Like, you're using it to validate, like, "Okay, I am worthy. That ROF said yes. I am a good chiropractor." Or, like, "That ROF said no. I'm a bad chiropractor. You're right. You're not worthy." Like, it's, whichever lion you feed or wolf
exactly.
or beast or dog.